The chicken wing in the golf swing. We all hate it. I teach so many people that are like, Alex, right, help me get out of this chicken wing. Well, there are so many drills that you can do, but is your body limiting you on actually being able to achieve it or get rid of it? In today's video, I've got Nat from ProFitGolf. We're gonna get into what the chicken wing is, how we test for it, and how we fix it. And you can do this for the comfort of your own home. Okay, Nat, so if I'm talking about a chicken wing, I'm thinking as a golf coach, there's two aspects to this.
Yeah.
Backswing, this way.
For sure.
Downswing, this way.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know as much as you about the whole how the body works and all this, but I very often, just through my PGA training, ask people if they ever had any shoulder injuries, and quite surprisingly, actually quite a lot of golfers say yes.
Yeah. Again, this is a real sort of common one that we see in the golf swing, probably one of the most common, I imagine, for most of your lessons as well. And I think with chicken wing, there can be quite a few in-depth issues that can affect the shoulder. So again, it's one of those that's down to the individual, but there's certainly some tests that we can use to check personally, and some exercises that we can do to try and eradicate it for you as well.
Okay, so we know it now. A lot of people will be watching this going, right, yeah, Alex, I can see that. And guys, if that is you, please do hit that thumbs up button and let us know, comment down below if this is affecting you. And because me and Nat are doing a series on this each and every week, do comment down below if you've got anything that's happening in your golf game. So whether you think it's fitness or swing, and between us, we'll work together to try and help you fix that. But I should say on this note, we are literally just scratching the surface with this. If you want some more information, go to the boss. So what are we going to try and test for here? So I'm thinking, do we have to do it separately, or what is this?
Yeah, so ideally what we want to do is test the mobility of your shoulder joint. Okay. So the front portion of the shoulder here, where you've got the upper arm meeting the socket. Okay. So that's what we're looking to test, how mobile and how fluid that socket is. So with this test, we've got two elements to it. We ask you to do it stood tall, and then we ask you to do it in golf posture. Okay. Because that's the position that we find ourselves in. You don't need that, I'll take that for you. So what I'm going to get you to do is, if you want to be side onto the camera, it's probably easier to see. So you're going to be stood tall. We'll start only on the right arm, so I'm going to get you to create 90 degrees. So just as a reference point, we've got the elbow roughly level with the shoulder joint. And from there, I want you to rotate as far back as you can, and eventually you'll feel like you get to a bit of a block.
Yeah, right now.
So, yeah, just for reference point, if I come round this side of you, Alex, what we're going to see is if you make that movement again, I'm looking from my end that you can get your elbow past the angle of your spine. So you stood tall, so the angle of your spine is roughly vertical. Now what's nice about clothing is you typically get a seam or a line, and that's something that you can have a look at. Am I seeing my elbow get past the stitching of my seam? So if I'm looking from this side here, I would say you're just about past. That's pretty good, okay?
Just.
And it feels tight, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not an easy movement to make.
And I'm just thinking right now, like in the golf swing, so many people probably feel like they get like this, and the elbows get far apart. Exactly. Oh, this is one of the reasons why.
And then what I'd ask you to do is come into your normal golf setup posture. So as if you set up to swing like a 6-iron, 5-iron.
Same again?
Right arm only, yeah. Right. So we set you up just here, and I'm going to ask you to make the exact same movement.
That is so much harder, by the way.
You can feel how much tighter it becomes, okay? So we're looking for the same measure. So now the angle of your spine has changed. You're obviously bent over. So you have slightly further to go, and it's a little bit more difficult on the scapula here and the musculature of the upper back, and across the back of the shoulder joint, where we typically have the rotator cuffs, the deltoids, and all these muscles here have to work a little harder because you're bent over.
Yeah.
So if we stop you here at your angle and I'm looking at that, I can see that you're just about level. So we give you the mark of level on the test. Sadly, to pass the test, you've got to get past the angle.
So I can probably push it, but I don't think...
But it doesn't feel natural.
No, it doesn't feel natural. It feels like this gets really tight here, and actually I probably feel it in like here as well. Exactly. So like if I'm thinking about my golf swing, like my tendency is actually to get this club working a little bit steep. Yeah. And literally, I remember going back to, well, I say when I played, I never played at an extremely high level, but say like when I played as a kid and having lessons, and my coach would be like, oh, try and get it feeling a bit flat through the backswing. I'm like, I can't, like I literally can't. Yeah, right. But I didn't know this at the time, and I was trying to fight it, and I actually got so much worse trying to feel this until the end, where I'm just like, right, that's how I swing it now. I know I do that. Yeah. But this ties into why I do that.
Yeah, and I think now's probably a good time to sort of mention that actually you can play with this position. Yeah. It's mechanically just not as efficient. You know, if I'm getting my elbow out here, well, I've got a lot more work to do to get it back into position coming into the downswing. You know, there's various golf swings we can look at, Matt Wolf, Jim Furyk, extremely successful. but it's mechanically not efficient. So if you're a golfer that wants to hit the ball slightly further and compress it a bit more, this is probably not helping.
I've got a question for you. I know we didn't actually prep this before going into this, and that's like, oh my god, what are we coming on to it? But like, I did a video about downswing and how trying to feel in like we get the elbow working this way.
Yeah.
Like, would someone who would struggle with this movement struggle with that as well?
Potentially. So this is the external rotation movement of the shoulder, and this would be the internal rotation coming this way. So if we're coming into the downswing like this, we're kind of creating an element of both of those positions.
Okay.
So certainly it's plausible that if someone can't pass this test, then again they might struggle to
find it hard to do that
position as well.
So doing these tests on both sides and failing them both could crop up issues. But 100%. Even if would you say, even if someone's got a good, like I'm okay there, I'm not great, doing these exercises would have benefits for backswing and downswing? Yeah,
definitely, because one thing we want to do as well is strengthen this position. So you think about the weight of a golf club, like even me just holding this now, and I'm going to try and swing this at, for me, what's 73, 74 miles an hour for an iron. That's a lot of force through the body. You know, I only weigh 57k, so I'm not that heavy relative to the force that I'm going to swing. So if I'm trying to get in positions here, I have to have a relative amount of strength coming across the upper back and the shoulders to maintain that.
Okay, so how do I fix this? We know what the issues are. We know it's not going to be as efficient in the golf swing. How, during lockdown, I think a lot of people right now will be thinking, right, how can I get myself in order? What is the best way of doing this? Okay, so one real simple exercise that we're going to do is a little rotator cuff drill. We're going to try and get ourselves more into that 90 angle, just with a really light weight. So again, you can do this with no weight. Okay. At home, you've not got any equipment, like a little dumbbell here. You can simply just hold a tin of soup, tin of beans, whatever you've got in the cupboard. Would you say even just doing it without, though, would actually help generate? Even using it without gets you into that motion a little bit more. It's always better just with a little bit of resistance, because then it changes something neurologically for the brain. But if you've not got anything, don't worry, something's better. Okay, so what do I need to do? So, take a seat. Sit down, one leg's going to be straight and one knee bent. So I want you to rest your elbow on the top of your knee, and you're going to create again this rough 90-degree angle here that we saw in the testing. So from there, Alex, if all I get you to do is start to fold that angle down. Which way? Down? Towards me. This way? Yep, so just nice and fluidly. And from here, what I'm going to get you to do is make sure that the elbow stays on top of the knee, and you're going to feel like you're pulling back your arm from here. And it's just a simple motion of that 90-degree angle that we're looking for in the golf swing. Down and up, really smooth. And obviously, the heavier the weight gets, the more difficult this becomes. But it's worth noting that this is a real simple drill, and that we don't want the weight to be overly heavy, because we are training smaller, finer muscles at this point. But I don't know what it is. But you can feel it straight away, right? So you're starting to get maybe a bit of a burn over this side. Yeah, definitely. And what you'll find is if the mobility's lacking, you'll feel that the elbow doesn't really get the whole way down. No, really like I know, like for me, I couldn't go any further than that. Yeah. So what are the, like, if you were saying like what's the textbook version that people should look for, what exactly is that? So ideally we're looking to keep the elbow on the knee, mainly, because what we find is any compensation, you want to lift off that and you want to sort of help yourself a little bit. We're looking to maintain a solid posture here, so we don't want to creeping in, you don't want to be using the upper body to sway and to lean and to try and help yourself, and it should feel fluid to you, and that's quite a broad sort of statement. But if there's any clunking and clicking and you feel like, oh, you know, this is really difficult to wind back and forth, it normally tells you that there might be a bit of stiffness within the joint. Feels fluid-ish. Fluid-ish. I'm going to try it this side. So again, how many reps and how many sets we should do on this? Yeah, again, if you're a beginner, keep it pretty simple. 10 is probably enough to start with. Okay. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can make the weight slightly heavier and stick to the similar reps. Or you can maybe go for 12 to 15 on a similar weight. Once or twice a day is probably enough on this. And again, this is one that can give you a little bit of soreness and stiffness the next day, so if you do feel like you get a little bit of muscle fatigue, don't worry, that's pretty normal. I could feel it, even at those kind of 10 to 12 reps there, I could feel it like through here, like fatiguing a little bit. Exactly right. Which is mad, like, granted guys, as you've seen, I've started going back to the gym, which I haven't been in a long time. Like, but it's bizarre, like if I was to lift, I'm not saying heavy weights, it sounds like a stupid macho thing to say, not that, but like, what I'm trying to say is, because like I feel like I'm isolating something, something doesn't have to be heavy for it to have. What we're looking to try and build up here is the rotator cuffs, which are a group of small muscles that cross the shoulder joint. They're responsible for all of these type of movements as a person.
So if you think about in the golf swing, when we get into these positions here and we're trying to keep this neat angle, all of those muscles are sort of
got to work in place.
They're trying to help you the whole time. So if you think you don't need a lot of weight because they're used to doing that, but we're trying to get them doing a little bit more.
Fab. So I honestly, guys, I'm gonna be doing that for myself. Just actually thinking about what happens in my swing, and like I said before, like I definitely had the tendency to do this and sort of just accepted it. Now I don't play a lot, so I'm probably not going to drill it. But I think if I just worked on this a little bit, I might see that change in my swing as a result of just my body being in a better place.
Yeah, definitely. I think you start to put yourself in better positions. The body therefore has less compensation to do. We've all got limitations, no matter what it is in our golf swing. And again, that's rightly so, we're all different, it should be that way. But I think if something's affecting the technique and affecting your progress, then you definitely want to try and take some avenues to try and get around that.
So guys, if you did really enjoy that video, I really would appreciate it if you hit that big red subscribe button. It lets us know that you are enjoying these fitness elements on the channel. And as I keep saying, we are literally scratching the surface with this. Head over to Nat's website, find out more information there, because it's a great way to get your game in order. And if you have got any questions about your game, physical things, fire them down below. We'll answer a few of them on the next video.